Welcome to the Evolvepreneur AI Advantage Show, and I'm your host, Richard Wray. My mission is to help entrepreneurs understand AI and use it to their advantage. Join me today where we dig deep with our guests and get you the best concepts and strategies. Today's special guest is Cheryl O'Hern. Cheryl is the CEO and founder of Spinmarket and states it's all about the story. Her work elevates clients' businesses from ordinary to extraordinary, while fully embracing the wonders of the digital realm we live in today. Today, we're talking about the new business game, Unleashing AI's Superpowers. Cheryl, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Richard. It's a pleasure to join you. And isn't this wonderful that you can be in Australia, and I can be in Fort Dodge, Iowa, and having a great podcast?
Absolutely. Yeah, we've got to enjoy this technology because it really does bring people closer together and gives us opportunity to do things that just wasn't possible, not too long ago.
Exactly.
So you've already answered my first question, which I like to ask my guests: where in the world are you? So we'll get straight into the rest of the podcast. So let's start off with your company, Spinmarket, and that's market with two Ks. Uh,
Okay,
ca-
that's right.
um, can you give us a little baseline of what your company does? And sorry, where does the second K come from?
Well, I tell everybody you'll never forget our name.
This is true.
And there's great marketing, right? The real story is that domain was taken with 1K. So I added so I could get the domain.
Well, there's nothing like honesty in this business, so that's great.
That's right.
Okay, so give us a little baseline about your business and how you've helped clients over the years.
Well, we've really evolved like everything else over the last, we've been doing this for over 10 years.
Mhm.
And we are a full service digital agency that we provide all the services that anybody would need in a business, but we take it to a different level. We highly stress to our clients, let's make sure that whatever we're using is really in your best interest
Mhm.
and is at a price point that you need, not sell them some expensive project or program that really doesn't work for them. And spend majority of our time educating them on
Mhm.
what is the world, what is digital, why is it so important. It's your brick and mortar store, your
Mhm.
website, how you look online. It is a brick and mortar store for you anymore, even if you do have a brick and mortar store. So it's really important that we constantly be working with our clients and show them the data so they understand how it works and get them to really think about their customer. What is their customer base? Who
Mhm.
is that customer? And how they need to market to that customer, take care of what their pains are or what they're looking for and provide that product and service that they need.
So it sounds like your business is constantly evolving and taking on board new technologies. How do you
Exactly.
manage to keep up with everything?
It's hard.
Mhm.
It's really, really hard. And that's why we tell clients, because we're in the trenches,
Mhm.
literally in the trenches, working these programs, the software, doing these campaigns, all of that that's in digital. We see things that they don't see, and it's a lot of them. They don't understand the cost or what it takes to do
Mhm.
marketing today, even though and software, there's nothing free,
No.
even though the internet is some mystical piece of of electricity out there, whatever you want to call it. It isn't free. It
No.
costs, and the software costs, and it takes time to do it, and sometimes it's not as easy as it all looks. We make it look easy, and we make it look that way because we do it and we're professionals at it,
Yeah.
but we're here to make their lives easier and have them work in their business, and we'll work on the business part for them so that we can get the customers they need and they can have that customer service and take care of them. So yes, we're constantly working and seeing what's out there, spending a lot of time networking, finding out what's working
Mhm.
for other people, doing podcasts like this, whether it's
Yeah.
podcasts in our own office or our own agency, or it's hopping on with individuals like you, Richard, and having those conversations to get them to know and educate them as to what's out there and how they can use it and not be afraid of it. Embrace it.
So you raised some really interesting points, and what I just want to drill into briefly is you talked about how really the internet isn't free, and people seem to have this myth in their minds that they can use all these things for free and they can get on the internet. And there's so many AI tools that are free. But my feeling, and I think that's a lot of what we're going to talk about today, is you might be able to access some of them for free, but using them well, that's not the free bit.
That's exactly right. There is no free. We frequently get, and when I say frequently, it's a weekly situation where we have a customer, a new one that comes in and they tried something free.
Yeah.
Or they set up something free and it got hacked. It isn't doing what it's supposed to do. It froze up, whatever it may be. And they're coming into us and saying, can you fix it? And I go, well, yeah, but it's going to cost you. So that free really didn't save you any money. In the long run, it's really making it more difficult because the hours that we have to spend, if somebody gets their Facebook hacked.
Oh, that's a nightmare. That's an absolute nightmare.
A nightmare to fix it. They have no concept of what it takes, but they thought, oh, well, it's free. I can just go in and set it up. And then they didn't put things in there the way they should. And it got hacked, or they clicked the wrong button and didn't understand and it got hacked. And now we're tasked with trying to take care of it. And yeah, a lot more money than it would have been if they would have come in first and had us help them out.
It's like that classic meme where somebody fixes somebody's computer in 5 minutes and they charge them $500 and they say, hey, why am I paying you $500 for 5 minutes? Well, I've done years worth of work to be able to do it in 5 minutes and you've spent a week not being able to use your computer.
Exactly.
How much have you lost? Yeah.
Exactly. And, I frequently tell our clients, you can use this as a fractional digital manager. Or a CMO, and use this when you need it on there, because we can make sure that things are done right and take care of it before it becomes a problem. But we're not any different than an accountant or your mechanic for your car or whatever. We're here to take care of a service for you that you're not an expert in, but you need that knowledge and that information.
That makes complete sense. So let's get into the topic of today. The statement is the new business game and AI superpowers. Tell us your thoughts here.
Oh, we have embraced it because the things that you can do with it, how you can use it, you can't be afraid of it.
No.
It's a tool. It's like anything else. It's another tool that you can use. And I see so many benefits, not only in streamlining procedures, activities within your organization, whether it be us as a digital agency or you as whatever business that you're in, but it also is going to create a wealth of additional jobs and expertise. It will take additional training for people to understand that, but it's like anything else. As we evolve and we grow in this area of AI or internet or any type of business, it always requires another skill set, and we can't be afraid of that. We need to embrace it. Internally here, Photoshop, writing content, and even though people are afraid that it's going to take away somebody that writes content or whatever, you still have to put that information in there. You still have to put those thoughts in there. It just helps you to write better or come up with different ideas. And you still have to proof it, because sometimes it's not quite the way it should be, but it gives you, it's a tool. And that's how we have to look at it. It's a tool that's designed to do a lot of improvements in our lives.
And I think that's a great message to get across to people. It is a tool. We shouldn't be afraid of it. But you also said one thing that was very, very important, I think, there, which is this will generate a lot of jobs.
Yes.
We constantly see this statement about, oh, no, AI is going to take my job away. And there will be a certain amount of that. But how do you respond to people that just drop instantly into a panic mode?
Tell them, take a deep breath, sit back, and start thinking about all the things that have changed over the years. This is just another change. And yes, we need to understand it. We need to be educated on how it can be used, how it can benefit us, what are the different applications that we can do with it, and not be afraid of it. It's evolution. It's, you look at what has happened in just since COVID happened, and you know how fast things have changed. Look at that in perspective and understand that AI isn't any different. It's just another product, another service, another ability to improve our lives.
And have you found that AI, unlike some other technologies that have come along in the past, is more accessible and easy to use for all demographics?
Yes, very much so. It's I just find I think it's more the mystery behind it. I think that's the
Hmm.
biggest problem, the mystery behind it, and understanding, and people thinking that because we've had movies like The Terminator and things like that, that
Yeah.
that's given them the concept that the computer is going to take over the world. No, it's really not. But do we have to make sure, you know, have certain safeguards in? Yes.
Hmm.
We need some controlling factors. I think that's another problem that we've had with the internet
Hmm.
and products and services out there, is that it happened and people did not realize that, you know, we need to put controls on things like other. I'm not a control freak. I don't want a lot of control, but there needs to be some best practices. I guess that's probably the best thing to say.
So we can learn from the mistakes of the past. That's certainly here. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Learn from them and understand how we can take this great tool and use it in a variety of ways. Every day, you're going to see something new being
Hmm.
used with AI. Things that you didn't even have a concept were considered in AI.
So give us some of the examples of how your clients have benefited from you introducing AI.
Well, of course, there's always the uh, way to do different distribution type of things.
Hmm.
Uh, email things, distribution, setting things up, having the information come back. Somebody replies in a certain way, so then you have it programmed so that they get the answer back based on what their question was. Of course, any kind of content, rewriting it, making sure it has some pizzazz to it. You know, has a little bit different flavor to it,
Yeah.
and is more interesting. Photoshop, of course, now has really added some great things on there that. Um, Again, that's probably an area that really needs to have some guidelines on it
Yeah.
in the future. Same way with video, that type of thing, things that
Hmm.
you can do with that. Again, I feel that we need to have some type of control over that, so we have an understanding. We don't want to have fake video out there with somebody supposedly saying things that they didn't say, that type of thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, internally we use it in everything we do, no matter what anymore. There's always some AI component in it when we're working with our clients.
So you, as you said, you fully embrace this, and this is just now normal. This is the new
Yeah,
normal for you guys.
it is. It's a new normal. We just take it as a uh, part of our services that we provide clients. They may not even really realize that we're using AI.
Mm.
And I think that's the other thing is we need to come up with a better description of what AI is. Artificial intelligence, you know, that isn't probably the best verbiage for it, because it
Hmm.
does kind of give a
It conjures
alien.
up bad thoughts in a lot of cases. Yeah.
Exactly. So if we can, you know, we probably need to come up with a little bit better termination on or terms on it to understand it better and educate. As in anything, we just need to educate and get people to understand how to use it, understand its capabilities, understand its pros and cons,
Mhm.
and embrace it again, and understand that it is going to require additional skill sets in order to do some of the things with AI. So there's going to be changes, and that's probably the most difficult for everybody, is that word change.
And one of the things I like to talk to people about is the skills that you have to learn. Again, it's
Mhm.
not the traditional having to get into deep dark code and this black art of doing strange things. It's about writing in English. It's about good sentence structure, etc. And these are skills that everybody can develop, regardless of age, background, or anything else that goes along with that.
Exactly, exactly. It's not something that they're going to have to take. They need to do the work. I think
Hmm.
that's probably it's not going to be something that you can have a textbook on.
No.
because by the time the textbook is written and published and you've got it in your hands, it's a whole different world. So it's not going to be something you're going to learn in a textbook. It's going to be something that is going to be hands-on. It's going to be those things that you actually are doing on a regular basis so that you can become more proficient with it, because you need to have good skill sets in order to use the AI in the way that best benefits you and any of your clients.
Yeah, in one of my prior interviews, somebody said to me, well, it's kind of like the car. Yeah, we had horses and buggies before, and they can be fun, but who would really want to go back to that for a daily basis? And this is where AI would go. And I think one of the things that you said that was particularly interesting is a lot of the time your clients don't know that they're even using AI or AI is being used. And I think that's the way it should be. This should
Mm-hmm.
be transparent or hidden or whatever you want to call it, but it's just something that works.
Yes, exactly. It's something, you don't question how, if you're not a mechanic and you're driving a car, you don't question how your engine works. You just
Hmm.
go,
Hmm.
thank you. You turn it on and you work and I can drive away. It's the same way with the AI. It's something that's there, and you need to have knowledge of it, but you don't need to understand the entire works
Absolutely.
behind it.
So, in my intro, we talked about how you elevate your clients. How has AI elevated your company? How is it taking it to that next level? How much time is it saving? What has it enabled you to do that you maybe couldn't do before?
It's hard for us right at the moment to really capitalize on how much time it saved, because we're learning
Hmm.
as well. A
So
lot
you're
of the
putting that investment in right now to get this right.
exactly on there. So we're spending a lot of time learning, because a lot of the stuff is just some of the products and services that are AI oriented are just coming out, and so
Hmm.
there's a learning curve for us as well with
There's
it.
certainly a
So
gold rush.
yes, exactly. So it's just taking a little bit of time for us to learn them and become proficient in them and understand how we can use them, and learn other ways to expand upon them. Then we're going to see the benefits a little bit more. So right now, yeah, it is saving time. Yeah, it's making things a little bit easier, but we still got a ways to go in
Hmm.
that area
Hmm.
before we really see all the benefits.
Yeah, okay, of course. Even though it is early days, though, can you give us any quotes or examples of your clients? And you obviously don't need to name names, but
Mhm.
where AI has really helped them in a way that might not have been possible previously without huge amounts of work.
Oh, I think in the content end, especially, that's
Hmm.
that's been one of the areas that's been a little bit easier to embrace, and to be able to take some very important pieces of information from them, bits from them, and then enter that information in and have AI help us to write the content that tells their story.
Yes.
Because a lot of times they've got that story, they've got it here, they know their products, they know their services, they know all about it, but then sometimes to verbalize that is very difficult for them. So if you can use some of that knowledge, take some of those keywords in there, and manipulate it a little bit, and then give them that content and have them read it, usually they go, yes, yes, that's exactly what I wanted to say.
And of course, your skill set is a huge part of that. Have you come across any strong resistance against AI from any area?
No, not yet, because I think sometimes they don't really realize that's what we're
Yeah.
doing on there.
Well, that's good news. Who do you think the winners and losers are going to be with AI going forward?
The losers is going to be the individuals and businesses that don't embrace it
Hmm.
on there. Really, that's where it's going to be at, because there's going to be things that we've already gone through an employment shortage in the
Yeah.
United States, well, worldwide.
Worldwide.
uh,
Yeah.
it's been a struggle to try to find individuals out there. This will help in that way, as well as provide people to free up and to be more creative. That's what
Yeah.
I feel. So if you have a business and you're bogged down with some things that could be done with AI, and it frees you up and you're able to come up with other products and services or whatever it may be, I think that's going to increase creativity. I think it allows you to experiment in ways that you hadn't thought about before,
Hmm.
whether it's in the arts or it's in being in the digital world that we're in, there's going to be a lot of changes for us because AI is going to totally transform how we do digital marketing as well.
I completely agree there. I mean, it's that iterative approach. You can now try so many different things out
Mhm.
that you would have taken weeks to do, where now you can maybe do it in a day or less to actually get to the point where you're happy with the idea at the very least.
Exactly, and not be so frustrated because a lot of times the creativity goes away because you're tired, you're frustrated, and you're not feeling that you're making the progress that you need. Anything that you can do to streamline it for you so that you can be clear thinking and
Mhm.
really get into that creative world that is what makes us great.
Do you see AI just in general having the potential to improve work-life balance? Or do you see it just as a case of where, managers and owners of companies are just going to say, no, just produce more and work just as hard?
I do. I think so. Again, it's going to take some time to learn it, to understand it, and then it will make it easier for you.
Hmm.
It's um, as new products and services come out and incorporate the AI on there, it's going to change how you take care, things with your family, how you do things within, taking care of your home,
Hmm.
as well as what you're doing in your business or your career.
Earlier in our conversation, you mentioned about checks and balances when it comes
Mhm.
to AI, and I see it in the US where there's attempts at a government level. I see it in Europe with the EU. Do you think that is the right way to go, or do you think it's because they will be coming up against places where there won't be this level of regulation, they're going to be at a disadvantage?
Yeah, I don't really believe our government is the best because the majority of them that are thinking that they need to make these rules and regulations are afraid
Hmm.
of the AI and what it will do. They're going at it in a scared mode instead of in a, okay, we need to think this through. They really need to work with people that are working in the AI that understand it so that they can give suggestions, give feedback as to, okay, these are the things that could happen with it. These are the things that you need to address. These are the things that you need to be looking at
Hmm.
instead of them just making laws. I've seen that with all the other with Facebook and Twitter trying to regulate things that they don't really understand, are not you just can't regulate them. There's other ways that they need to address it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, who do you think organizationally, internationally, is doing AI right at the moment? Who do you look at and go, right? I think they are doing a great job.
I see it in not in the United States as much as I do everywhere else across the world. I really
Hmm.
do. I think Israel and various places like that are really much more advanced in that area than what we are in the United States on it. And again, I hope that we pick up the pace considerably because it is the way that things are going to be.
Why do you think that is? America has traditionally been a great place for technology. Silicon Valley and so many great technologies coming out of America. Why that step behind?
I'm not. I think it's been something that's been going on for many years. I think some of the problem has been coming up with the financial
Hmm.
end of it.
Okay.
And that has put a stranglehold on some of the things that possibly could have happened.
Hmm.
I think sometimes that there's in foreign, and I say foreign countries very
Yeah.
politely, that there's some organizations or individuals that are more willing to invest,
Yeah.
where in the United States, uh, that's always been a problem with, or even more so in the small business world, is getting those funds unless you already have money or have assets that nobody wants to lend you money, and investors are very, how fast can we make our money? They're worried about making it really quickly, where some of the other countries are looking at it more at strategically. I
Yeah.
guess that would be the good word.
So, do you think, at the very least, at a government level, there needs to be an AI first policy for most countries?
I do. I think so. I think it needs to be very universal. It
Hmm.
can't be um, left to just the borders of a country, or that it needs to be universal. I think something where everybody gets together and has that conversation to better identify it would be the best. How it would be done, I have no idea, because of all the...
It's incredibly challenging, and I
Yeah.
don't think in a short podcast we're going to work that bit out.
Oh, no, not at all. There's too many moving wheels, but it really needs to be taken seriously, and have the right people brought in.
Yeah.
Not our government people, but they have to have a part of it, but we need to have the right individuals in that are really in the trenches and working with it and understanding it.
Okay, understood. So with regards to AI, you're still relatively early in your journey with this, and this is going to be an ongoing journey. But what's that one piece of advice that you wished you'd had when you were first starting out using AI in a significant way that you'd want our listeners to take on board?
That's a good question. I hadn't thought about that. I guess really it's the same for me as it is for anybody else. It was learning. I mean, when I first heard, oh, you're going to be able to use AI, I'm going, really? How are we going to use AI? And then you start just investigating and starting using it, and you're going, oh, okay, I'm getting it. So we're not any different than anybody else. We just embraced it faster than what some of the other people are, and dove into it and became comfortable with it, and how we could better take care of our clients as well as streamline things internally within our office or business.
Makes complete sense. So Cheryl, where can people find you, and what's that big project that you'd like people to know about?
Well, we are located, like I said, in Fort Dodge, Iowa, middle of Iowa, middle of the United States. The company name is Spinmarket, markket.com. And we are a total digital agency, a SaaS, software as a service business as well. And you can find us online very easily: LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and probably on several podcasts, because we produce podcasts for our clients as well. So it's been, that's how you can find us.
Right. Well, thank you, Cheryl. It's been a really interesting conversation today.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Richard, for having us and being a part of the AI Advantage show. We really appreciate that.
Well, that's a wrap on another awesome guest episode for the Evolvepreneur AI Advantage show. Just before you go, if you like this episode, we would be very grateful for a 5-star review. Please also consider recommending the show to a friend or two. Make sure you subscribe for future episodes at aiadvantage.show right now. Until next time, I'm Richard Wray, and if you're an entrepreneur, get the AI advantage today.